So I promised to do a review when I bought the Mako 204 center console. I had previously did a review on the Mako Pro Skiff 16 that I bought earlier this year. And then I decided I wanted to get a bigger boat, have a little bit more range, go into some bigger water. I live in Santa Cruz, and so I did that review and then promised I would do a review once I got this boat. So here it is. I'll give a review on it and give you my honest feedback and opinion, and we'll go from there. My 2016 Mako 204 center console. Looking at the driver's cockpit area. Some of the things on here that I guess are upgrades would be the tilt wheel, which is really nice actually for when you're docking the boat or loading the boat onto the trailer. I put it in the vertical position when I'm standing, and then when I'm just normally driving, I just lower it into the tilt back position. It's super nice. But also has a power steering, which I highly recommend. Just makes it easy to drive, especially when kids want to drive. I got a couple kids that like to get behind the wheel, so it's a little easier for them to steer it and maneuver it. The boat, I got the upgraded Verado 200 horsepower. It came with these upgraded digital gauges. A little bit bummed about the gauges there. If you can see, they've got moisture inside of them. They're going to warranty it, of course, and replace them, but you can see there's moisture inside and it's a little bit stained behind the glass there, so that's a little surprising considering they probably should be waterproof. We've got all these different rocker switches, which are really nice. The horn is red, which is a great thing to have. The nav lights, the bilge pump, cockpit lighting, which is an add-on accessory, the bait well, the raw water wash down, and then 2 accessory switches, which are nice to when you're adding accessories, and then your 12-volt plug for running, powering your iPhone or any of your handheld devices, whatnot. It's got the little rocker safety switch that comes with a lanyard that you can connect to the driver, so if you fall overboard, it'll turn the boat in the off position. Standard key, AC. You can turn the AC on, or you can start the motor. It's got a really nice throttle control. You can adjust your motor up and down here on the handle with this nice ergonomic handle. It's got a really nice feature here. If you push the dock button, it lowers basically it takes the power out of the motor, so you can't overdo it. It makes it just easier to maneuver around. So if you're not smooth on the throttle, it won't just toss you off the boat. Transfer switch doesn't apply to this boat. That's if you want to transfer controls to a different part of the boat, but on this boat it's small enough that pretty much run it all from right here. Throttle only is nice too, upgraded feature that you can use. If you don't want the boat to go in gear, you can just hit that button, and then these are just the lights that you can turn the lights higher or lower and on the brightness. I mounted a Simrad Go 7 XSE. Love this fish finder. I think they just came out with a 9. At some point I'll upgrade to that. I've got space. You can see I did the flush mount. I definitely have room for the 9-inch, which I'll definitely do at some point. Currently fishing right now, so if I have to pause, it's because I gotta grab a pole. I've got 2 poles mounted right now. I'm just fishing for some rockfish while I let my crab pot soak for a little while. What else I got here in the dash? I got the radio. I got the upgrade for the radio, which is nice. It's it's pretty basic. This thing too gets some moisture behind the lens, which is a little annoying. It's dried out now. It was a little bit, you could see it earlier this morning when I came out, but it had some moisture behind that lens as well, so I'll probably ask them to warranty that as well. I mounted a Standard Horizon radio in here, flush mount again. I like the clean look. Originally I wasn't going to mount it. I was going to mount it up on top, up there, but I liked having that flat spot as a shelf just to throw shit down when you're throwing your pliers. That's kind of the home for the pliers right now. And I was a little bit worried about this hitting my knee, but I'm 6'4", and I have plenty of clearance here, and I don't really, this doesn't ever gets in my way. I thought it might, but I took a gamble and made sure that when I sit down I had room, but definitely don't have a problem with it down here. Again, you can probably see there's some moisture behind that. I don't know if that's just a normal thing for radio electronic or for marine electronics, but it doesn't seem right to me when you buy a waterproof radio and it's got moisture built up inside. That just seems off to me, but whatever. I might have to warranty that. Got this little pad here, which is nice. There's a USB outlet behind here that I haven't actually played with yet. I haven't even actually ever took this off. But that's so you can run your audio from your phone into the stereo. A couple cup holders. Let's see what else. One thing that I would like them to do on here, which they didn't do, is actually they put this rubber pad down here. I think it would be awesome if they had an accessory option for a rubber pad. I'm just gonna go get some rubber and cut out a nice piece and lay it down in there, and that way I have a place to throw my pliers and whatnot. I learned the hard way that you don't leave your pliers on the side of the boat because they always fall in the water. I've lost a couple of sets, so this is now the rule on the boat, is you keep them there so they don't get tossed or lost, and everybody knows where they're at. I didn't go with the stock Mako T-top. I actually went with the Striker T-top. Just the stock one, the upgrade cost was pretty high. This one was pretty affordable. I got the 300, I believe. It's the non-collapsible one. I don't need it to collapse, so I didn't get that option, but it's pretty robust. It's easy to install. I've got it, it's bolted to the floor, and then it's attached on the sides here to help prevent from rocking side to side. There's plenty of room inside to attach the bolts. It was pretty straightforward. It's pretty solid. You can't really do pull-ups on it, but it's pretty solid. I got the electronics accessory box at the top. It's really nice for storing your wallet, your keys, your any other devices or things that you don't want at immediate ready and at your fingertips. It's great. I throw my all my warm hats up there, my gloves, anything I want to stay dry. And then next to that I got my tea bag, which I store all my extra US Coast Guard approved life jackets for when I have guests on the boat. I just keep it up there. It's got these other additional pockets which are nice for first aid kits in there. I wouldn't use this mesh for this cord down here just because I'm 6'4" and I already have a hard time hitting my head on things. And that's the other thing with this Striker T-top is I'm 6'4", and if you look, I'm standing up right here. When I'm driving, I got to be careful not to hit my head. So I kind of have to pay attention to that, especially when it's bumpy. So I try and avoid that. Same with the rocket launchers I have on the back. They claim it's 6'5" from this point here to the surface below. Well, this is definitely not 6'5" because I'm 6'4", and you can see where that thing is hitting me. So not sure where they got their measurements from, but I would say that this is probably going to take some core samples out of my head at some point. But it's a great feature to have. Gets everything out of the way. I've got all sorts of stuff just up there. I don't have a bunch of poles today. I've only got I think I got 4 rods with me today because I'm by myself. But I like to just throw everything and anything up there. It just gets it off the floor. But highly recommend this Striker T-top, even though they can't measure their heights correctly. I'm not sure. Maybe they just needed, I don't know, maybe I got a different model. I couldn't figure out, but it's definitely not 6'5" at the back where the rocket launcher is. But that's the setup. I got the VHF antenna mounted with they offer a bracket which is super slick and super clean. So I got that mounted up there. I got a 8-foot antenna. Gives me a decent amount of range. I just run the wire across the top and then down. Sorry, the boat's rocking. I'm trying to hold still here. Just have the cable running down through to a little hole in the side of the center console. And And then what else you got underneath here? You got all your batteries. I got the dual batteries set up. There's the accessory battery. There's the battery for the motor, the start motor. It's got good cranking power, cranking amps. Got the switch here. I can select off, first battery, all batteries, second battery. Just have it on all right now. I'm pretty good about maintaining my batteries. I keep the boat plugged in all the time. And then down here, if you can see, there's the main switch that turns everything off. So it doesn't matter if that switch is on or not. If this is off, the boat's off. It's nice. I like this because it's easy access to all the wiring. So when I was connecting my accessories, it was super easy. You can see right here the back of the fish finder is super accessible. I actually had them install the transducer for me because I didn't want to route the wire, because that's kind of a pain in the butt. So when I bought the boat, I just asked them to do that for me. They could deal with that issue. Got the rod holders down here, which is super nice for when you're traveling. Just stow them in there. I would like, these only have 3 on each side. It would be awesome if there was 4 on each side. But because generally when I'm out here with a couple other people, I've got about 8 rods, and I like to have them all put away clean when I'm towing the boat. But can't really have everything, but definitely useful. The lower ones are a little challenging because if the rods are a bit longer, the tip of the rod will stick out, and I actually snapped the tip of a rod off with my foot when I was at the back of the boat walking by it. It caught my boot and snapped the tip off, which was kind of a bummer. So that's why as soon as I get on the water now, I just throw everything up on the rocket launcher. It's got great storage up front. We got the accessory rail here, which is something that I wouldn't have bought in the beginning, but it came with this version. They had built it that way, so I just bought it as is, and I'm actually glad I did, because it's a nice, when you sit up here you can actually lean on it, which is super cool. So it's a feature I wouldn't have bought originally, but now since it came with the boat, I see its value, and how nice it is to be able to just sit up here, especially when there's a bunch of people in the boat. You can kind of find your corner and sit up here, and you can see I got the little Scotty rod holder mounts. So I've got 4 mounted to the front of the boat. Only using 2 right now, the ones towards the aft. I've got those 2 currently marinating with some squid, but it's kind of a slow day, so I'm not sure but either way, that's why I'm doing the review, because I've got time and not a lot of fish. Okay, so back to the front, we got the anchor locker, which is really nice to have. Securely mounts in there. One thing that was annoying is the standard anchors, the width here didn't match, so not a huge deal. I just got a hacksaw out and shortened the arm on here about 1 inch per side. There wasn't a standard size that fit this dimension that they give you, which it's a really nice feature because it locks it down, but it's not built around any standard anchor size, at least that I found. And I'm not like an expert in boats or boating equipment. That was my experience. Maybe there is a standard one, maybe I didn't look hard enough, but not a big deal. I just cut those down and it fits right in there. I got 100 feet of rope and chain attached to it. Got the little bow light here. The stainless steel cap kept popping off. The glue failed, so I'm a fan of mechanical fastening, so I just drilled a small hole at the top and put a really short screw in there and threw some silicone adhesive and a screw, and that thing will never come off now. That's on there for life. Got the cleats on the different parts of the boat. Got these nice anchor lockers in the front. I always keep just water or something in here all the time. In this side, I don't use this for fish. I use the cooler at the back underneath the flip-flop seat for that. This side, I just store random stuff. I got my toolbox in there. I usually keep towels in here and things to keep dry. These actually stay pretty dry, so I like to put anything I want to keep dry in here. The floor locker is really cool because it's got a ton of space, but I learned that it's actually not the best place to put anything you want to keep dry. So if you want to keep something dry, don't put it in this locker. I don't have much in here right now. It's a nice deep locker. It's got plenty of space in there. It's got drains on these two corners towards the aft of the boat. There's a drain in the floor right there, and as you can see, there's actually some standing water in there. So what happens is the boat, when you wash it, this thing doesn't seal very well around the perimeter, so water actually accumulates in there. And I actually was storing the life jackets in there before I got the tea bag, and I couldn't open this latch because the life jackets were floating to the top and putting so much pressure on the hatch that I was having a hard time opening. I just stand on it to be able to turn this to open it, and then I just looked in there and it was full of water. Maybe I did something wrong, I don't know, but that's not where I keep my stuff anymore that I want to keep dry. I had my toolbox in there and all my tools rusted out because of the salt water. Back to here, I got the live well. Super impressed with it. Does its job. It's got the little snorkel in here, keeps the fish alive. I forget what this is, 21 gallon I believe. It works really well. It's got the lip on it here to keep the water from splashing around on my 16 foot. It didn't have this, so when I'd be driving the boat in rough water, the water would just be shooting out the side and splash everything. Got a bumper here with another pop-up cleat right there. I use these Scotty, these rod holders. I use these because I didn't have to actually drill into the boat to use these, and I could get 4 of them on here and place them and kind of experiment with where I wanted them. So I use these, and looks like I might be getting a bite. That'd be, maybe not. Maybe I just bounced off the bottom, sorry. So yeah, I just use these. Maybe there's better ones, maybe not. But I didn't want to drill into the boat initially. I wanted to kind of get a sense of what, how the boat worked and where I wanted things. And these are nice because it gives me an idea of placement. And one thing that I learned pretty quick is I had these mounted further back, and if I had drilled them in, I'd be stuck with it. But since they're movable, I didn't kind of paint myself in a corner. But you notice how far the rod sticks out. Well, it can make it hard to walk through here, and so I actually had that thing mounted further towards the back of the boat, and I realized pretty quickly that I had a hard time walking through there, so I actually slid it up a little further and out of the way. So that's a nice thing about having a mount that doesn't have to drill any holes in your boat. Let's see what else we got here. I got here's the rod holder in use. I got one of these that I just had to use for sending a fish back, an equalizer. I think I have a little clip of that in the video. And the rod holders in the back. Got the light is mounted up underneath here for the if you're driving at night, or when I head out early in the morning, I like to light the boat up and make sure I'm legal, and that just plugs in right here. Pretty simple, very similar to the 16-foot skiff. That's pretty much it that I can think of right now. Overall, very pleased with the boat. It's kind of a rough day today. We got about 4 or 5 foot swell, a little bit of chop mixed in there, some secondary chop. No white caps yet. Actually, the wind has died down since I first got out here, so maybe it'll start mellowing out. So getting down to the last day of the season for rockfish. We're getting it's after Christmas. I think today's the December 28th or 29th, and 31st the season closes. So it'll just be crab and sand dabs, and if you can find the halibut and get them to bite, maybe get some halibut. But overall, very pleased. Here's the view from the very front of the boat. It's nice and roomy. One thing that I really appreciate about this boat is, and I was gonna get the 18 foot, and at the last minute I decided to get the 20 because it was on sale, a clearance sale for the end of the year. And the thing that put me over and made me decide to get the 20 was the gunnel height. I'm 6'4", and on the 18, the 184, the gunnel height's much lower, and I actually like this especially for my height and with kids, because I can lean up against that with my leg and be completely stable even on a rough day like this. And yeah, I feel confident that I'm actually inside of a boat, and that was ultimately what made me decide to get the bigger boat, even though it's much harder for me to store it at my house and get it in and out of my driveway. It's actually kind of an art that I've been able to figure out how to get it done. But that gunnel height is amazing, and it really makes you feel secure inside the boat. You know, even though I go out alone quite a bit, I still wear a life jacket when I'm by myself. Just, you know, you never know. There's actually a guy that just tipped his boat over a few hundred yards away from me this morning. The Coast Guard had to go rescue. So you just never know what's going to happen. So safety first, and wear my life jacket, and hopefully I don't end up in the water. But that's kind of it. I can show you here real quick. So I'm standing up, and the boat's rocking. I got my leg planted against the side of the boat here, and it's super secure. I don't feel unsafe at all. I can always, lean up against it, and it just, I don't know, it just feels nice to be able to do that, especially when there's kids, and just knowing that they're actually inside the boat, not just on the boat. So, just walk around and see if there's anything else that I see here. I don't see much else. There's all my bait, my squid. Seagull over there waiting for me to toss him some bait. This is the 200 Verado. I did the break-in already. I did the 10 hours, and this is the first trip out since I changed the oil. Very impressed with this motor. The thing gets up and goes. Plenty of power for this boat. Of course, you always want more power. I'd be curious to drive it with. I think you can put a 250 on this, or maybe a 225. I'd be curious how that feels, but it's definitely a lot of boat, or a lot of motor for this boat. Got this hatch down here, which is nice. It's access to your bilge pumps. See down there. So it's got easy access. You got your bilge for your pump, water pump for your bait well, and then you got your bilge pump there, so when water gets in the boat. It's a self-draining hull, so it has these in the back, so it never really gets any water in here. And when it does, it just pumps it out. Power steering right here. Doesn't take up too much space. One of the upgrades I was going to get was the flip-down seats in the back, and I'm still on the fence whether I want to do that. I love all the space back here, and if I have those seats, I'm not sure if they would cause, I don't know if it'd make it feel cramped or not. I'd love to be able to mock one up and just see how it feels before I actually make the purchase, because I think it's $900 for the set. But definitely would want that for the lake, especially the cushions up front. If and when I go out, well, I will go out on the lake, so I would definitely get some cushions for the front, so it's more comfortable for people. So, well, that's pretty much it. Just gonna walk around. If there's anything I missed, there's some footage of me. I'll try and add to the video. I got me launching the boat. Hopefully I remember to turn it on when I head back in, and you can see how easy it is to load it by myself. I find that this is actually easier to load onto the trailer than my 16 was, because I can actually drive this one on. It goes straight easier when you're going slow. The 16 was kind of a bitch, so I'd pull it with the ropes off the dock. But this boat, I have no problem driving it on. If you miss, you just back up and go around, but it's much easier to control, and equally as easy to just get it onto the trailer. Even though I'm by myself, I don't even think twice. It doesn't make me nervous or bother me. I just do it, and it's not so big that you can't do it by yourself. So, well, if I think of anything else, I will add it to the video. But that's it for now. So thanks for watching, and if you want to leave comments at the bottom, go ahead, or questions, I'll try and answer them if I left anything out. But I haven't seen any real reviews on this boat from a user yet. I think these are more popular in the East Coast, out in Florida maybe. I think they're finally making their way out to California. So hopefully this is helpful to people if you're looking to buy a boat this next year, or on the fence whether you want to go with the 184 or the 204, or just want the information. Hopefully this is helpful, and if not and you think it's stupid, that's fine too. So thanks for watching, and if I think of anything else, I'll add to it. decided to take the camera out, and there's a nice south swell that I'm having to go up against in order to get my crab pots. So I figured I would show the boat how it performs in these rougher waters. The camera never really shows how rough it is, but it's not terribly rough. It's, like I said earlier, it's a 4 to 6 foot swell. It's a little slight breeze, no white caps. You can see the boat's rocking quite a bit, but I'm going against the swell to get to my crab pots. So that's a little bit slow going here, but I'll just kind of give you an idea of how the boat performs in that. So we'll start throttling that. I got my GPS set to where we're going. So turn in, you got see the gauges going. But basically the max I can do here is probably about 2,500 RPM. The swell. Probably go faster, but then I'm just beating the boat up for no reason. I don't have to be anywhere, so. Turn it up a little bit. But the boat stays really dry. Even a nice flared hull that they have, it shoots the water out to the sides. Probably about all I want to do right now. Just shy of the boat jumping out of the water is about the speed I like to go when I'm going into the swell. Got about 2,900 RPM. Says I'm going about 6 or 7 right now, kind of slow. I know the boat will let me go faster, but what's the point? swell is kind of going sideways to us, perpendicular, so I'll just show you how the boat does with the swell. Do about 4,000 RPM and about 25 miles an hour comfortably. hooked a canary. Got this guy in the live well, so as part of the review, you can might as well see the live well. Well, I got him from about 100 feet, so I got to send him down with an equalizer. So I'm gonna pull him out of there and attach him to an equalizer. He's going belly up a little bit, so he came up a little too quick. So I'm gonna send him back down, back home. Not letting him keep these. He's too small to keep anyway. I wouldn't keep this size fish, but I'm gonna let this guy go. If you've never seen one of these equalizers, this is what it looks like. Basically, when it hits 50 feet, it will release the guy, so we can get him down safely. So I'll put him in there, and it's got a weight on it, so help him get to the bottom safely. So there he goes. I'm just gonna give him about 50 feet of line.